Igniting, inspiring, and evoking the fire within.
Hello, everybody. On this special episode of the What's Your Inspiration podcast, I wanted to share a very impactful presentation by episode 61's guest, Brad Callahan. Just to review, Brad's been a colleague and a friend for 17 years and a very successful high school teacher and coach for nearly 25 years. If you listen to episode 61, you know he's a man of several talents, and he's weaved his life's wisdom into both the academic and athletic domains. He's been fully invested in his students and athletes for all of these years, keenly focusing on their social, emotional learning and health. Now, in this presentation entitled Loving, Hurting, Living, and Learning, it's candid, creative, and it's a personal account of his journey to the classroom and beyond. It is laced with wisdom nuggets, and he weaves his musical talents into a lesson designed to address the well-being of his students who struggle with identity, self-esteem, and self-doubt. So without further ado, here is Loving, Hurting, Living, and Learning.
All right, listen, so I put something together. I've been working on this for a while. It started over the summer. One of the main reasons I thought this would be important because a lot of times I think as students at high school, you go through your regular day and you're just bombarded with your school stuff, and not often do you get a chance to talk about life. I think about all classes going on right now in high school, and how many are talking about life. So today, this is your dose of life, and it's something I put together. It's called Loving, Hurting, Living, and Learning. Basically, if you've ever been heartbroken from a relationship, if you've been confused about life, if you've been confused about who you are as a person, if you ever had to do some serious soul searching, right? I'll be honest with you, that was me. The person I am today is a lot different than the person that I was a while ago. And this is going to be the journey. Story about how I found myself. Now, I'll left the picture. For me, my journey, this story starts when I graduated college. It was 4.5 years I went to Rowan, and I graduated with a communication liberal arts. Right? People are always like, "What are you gonna do with that major?" I didn't think about it. I just didn't think about it enough. I look at this picture of that guy right there, and I can tell you this. That dude has no idea about life in the real world. That dude right there did not plan at all post-college. That dude right there had no clue about what real life is like. I was in my comfort zone, and the people in the room who've been to college know that. It becomes your comfort zone, and you have fun there, and you're hanging out with your buddies, and I had to leave behind a girlfriend. It was very difficult. We were together, and I had to say goodbye, and midway through, because it was 4.5 years, I'm home, sitting by myself, and she gets to stay at college. And obviously, we broke up, she broke up, and I had to go back home, right? And one of the biggest changes I think in life, because middle school to high school is whatever. High school to college, you're gonna love college. But when you leave college and go to the real world, that's where it's at. That's when it hits you. And to have to go back home and sit by myself in my room, right, when a lot of people aren't around. Some of my friends already had jobs, right? And like I said, I really didn't plan for stuff. I was just the classic going through the motions in life. You know, if I got a B, I was happy. If I got a C, I got a C. You know, I didn't think about a lot of things, not like I should have back in the day. And like I said, when I look at that, it's like a different person staring back at me. So I go home. And I'm part of this vicious cycle. You know, you have to find a job. You know, what are you going to do with that major? I don't know. I'm going to find a job. All I know is I felt like crap. All I know I wasn't eating much. All I know is I lacked confidence. All I know is every morning I woke up, I thought about the girl first thing. All I know is every night before I went to bed, I thought about that girl. And it was hard to try to find a job, right? When you're hurt and you don't feel good about yourself and you're questioning everything. And how did I get here? What am I doing? You know, this kept going on. This was going on for a long time. And I remember looking back on it, you know, waking up was all right because the sun came out and there's people around the house and stuff. But the nights really stick out for me. I was feeling really alone. I was thinking like, is this girl even thinking about me? Kind of stuff. And those are some long nights. So one morning I wake up and I was just tired of feeling that way. Tired of the grind of, you know, being asked about jobs and just tired of everything. So I wanted to do something for myself. And I thought for a while and I decided I was going to buy a guitar and just try to teach myself. So I woke up that morning and I went to the guitar store. I picked up a chord book, just how to learn basic chords. And I bought a guitar. And I started practicing it every night. Those lonely nights turned into practice. What I didn't plan on was the writing of what I was feeling in a notebook. Each night I'd write down kind of what I was going through. And the interesting part about it was it really became therapy for me. And I didn't think it would, you know, but that whole process of writing down what you're feeling and then just sitting there trying to teach yourself chords. From one chord to the other. Again, it's all basic chord stuff. I wasn't going crazy here. I was just trying to learn stuff, you know, and it was weird being by yourself doing this stuff because there was no cell phones. You know, this was the guitar phone, same one. There is no computers, YouTube, right? There's none of that stuff. There's just you in a room by yourself. Once in a while, my mom might knock on the door. You're right in there, you know? Yeah. Just hanging out. And I was just doing basic stuff, just teaching myself, you know, from one chord to another. Strumming away, writing down lyrics. Next day goes by, get a little bit better. Strumming away, writing down lyrics. So eventually, started to find myself. Let me start with that too. Was a show. I wonder if you're Is it just not right that I can't stop loving you? Though I tell myself, and I can't stop loving you, and try, and I try, Lord, I try, and I try. I appreciate that. So I remember, like, when I put it all together that first time, the sense of accomplishment that you can get, that sense of feeling good about yourself. For the first time in a long time, when I looked in the mirror, I kind of liked the person that was staring back because I did something I never thought I could do. You know, teach myself how to play the guitar and write a song. You know, so my self-confidence started coming back, definitely. And with that comes, like, you know, a better version of you. So when you go out there in the real world, you're trying to find a job, it's a lot easier to sell yourself. All right, let's just call it what it is. And look, I'm not saying that if you're ever in a situation, you should go buy a guitar. What I'm saying is, if you're ever in a similar situation, you need to find something to better yourself, right? And that could be simply working out more. That could be learning a new language. And that could certainly be learning a different instrument, right? Running a marathon, whatever, something you never thought possible, that you focus on yourself, you make a goal, and then you go get it. You know, because once that becomes in your repertoire, then I think things start going in the right direction. That's what saved me. Sitting in the room by myself. As weird as that sounds. Changed me, changed who I was. I go out, I remember going to a job market, and there was a sales job. And it was for Curtis 1000, and this dude came up to me, and he's like, let me see your resume. He liked that there was an ad design, because I had a minor in ad design. And you would be designing like letterheads and stuff. So this was a top 20 printing company in the United States at the time. This is a copy of my first business card. I keep it on my desk. It's the first business card you'll see if you could ever come in my room and see my desk. Stefini can verify. I keep it there for a reason. I keep it there because it reminds me every day about where I came from. Right. Sales was really cool. I'm telling you right now, I wouldn't be where I'm at if it wasn't for sales. One of the things you do with sales is you read a lot of positive thinking books. These 3 I still have, they're in my office to this day also. Help change my life. Help change your mindset. If you really want to change your mindset, strongly recommend reading some positive thinking books. Years later, it's definitely helped me out with being a coach and teacher. There's no doubt about it. Right. Funny thing about sales is they flew me down to Atlanta where the headquarters was. So all these new sales reps all over the country go there. And they put you in a room similar to this. There's a desk there. And all the people are hanging out back there. They have a camera. The first thing you learn in sales is how to shake a hand properly. And they filmed it. How you walked in, how you presented yourself. You know? Shake the hand, you look the person in the eye, you shake the hand, smile. Like, and you rep that. So you had it perfect. There's no dead fish handshake. Right? You ever get the dead fish? No sale right there. Right? And little things like that changed me. I realized, you know, there's something here about the sales, and I did like the freedom of the job, but what was scary to me was just how big the world is. And I remember thinking to myself, man, like I just flew to Atlanta, and there's people all over this country. Like this whole concept of the real world was just tremendous. It was big. It was just seemed like there was a lot of endless space out there. And wrote a song about it. Driving around this town, things still on my mind. I'm hoping to see that place I cannot find. Sometimes it seems dreams may come true, but to them, the world can be so blue, so blue. Certain town, that certain place. Can I find that certain place somewhere in time? Won't you send this place? After my bags, I'm heading down the road. Now I can breathe outside, relieve my body and soul. Taking a turn to a place I'm not sure of. Maybe I'll find the answer, certain song to love, someone to love. Certain town, that certain place. Can I find that certain place somewhere in time? Oh, some mistakes. Can I find some mistakes? There I was in sales, and I had a territory near Rutgers, that area. So I'm walking around the streets of Piscataway, going to different businesses, asking for the person in charge of purchasing, because that's who you'd want to meet with to try to sell your products, right? And I was just this young guy right out of college. They used to say green. I was very green. The other salespeople would say that. Meaning you're just young and you're new to this whole thing. So I'd meet with these people. And even back then, and I consider myself now still a good listener. And I was back then, and I would meet with these people. When you go to their office, you sit down, and the sales training, like you look around and you notice, like, their sports things. You can talk sports with this person. You see the pictures of the dude was fishing, like, oh man, I love fishing. The kids, you can ask about kids, but anyway, you just start talking, and then they'd open up about how miserable they were in their career and their choice. And they saw me sitting there and they're like, I was you. Man, I do things so different right now. I got all this responsibility, I'm not happy with my job, like, I'm stuck here. And this wasn't like a one-time spiel. This was like all the time. And it really like started freaking me out because I was like, gee, I don't want to be these people. I want to kind of enjoy my career. So I remember going home one day. I wrote down on a piece of paper things I enjoyed working around. And it dealt with being with kids. And obviously certain careers that would come up with that. Teaching and coaching was definitely in that ballpark. Right. So then while I was still in sales, I visited Montclair State, Kane, and Willie P. And I talked to the person in charge of the phys ed department. And they would say, Mr. Callahan, it's going to take you another 2.5 years. You have no education credits in a half year, you're going to have to do your student teaching. And then I would go back home, I'd call up a couple of my buddies and be like, dude, another 2.5 years of school. A lot of them would be like, why, how do you want to do that? You were just at school for 4.5 years. Why don't you just find a job? Just move on. And I knew deep down inside this, talking to those people, those cubicles, right? What no one told me when I was your age is when you start working, that work phase of your life is the longest phase of your life. Right? If you don't enjoy doing what you do, that's a long phase of being miserable. Right? So that's really why I decided to go back, because I wanted to live for every day. I didn't want to live for the weekend. I want to try to make a difference every day. Right? I didn't want to just sit in a cubicle for 30 years and say what was the meaning of life. So I ended up going back to Montclair State and started taking classes. I was a student again, but I was a very motivated student. I was on a mission. I knew what I wanted to do for the first time in my life, and it felt good. I was hanging out with 18 and 19-year-olds that had no clue what they wanted to do, or were just going through the motions. And that was me years before. But now I'm this smarter person, this new version, this better person, right, attacking it. And I remember looking at them like, they're just not going to make it. They're just not going to make it. But I learned a couple things along the way. One is it's hard to accept others in your life when you're not comfortable with yourself. Like I feel like if I didn't do those nights in that room and start finding myself, it would have been very hard to accept others into your world. The other thing I learned too is you need to put yourself first. It's not selfish. It's smart. Take care of yourself. Right? Make sure you're good with yourself. Make sure when you look in the mirror, you like what you see. And certainly I wouldn't be where I was if I wasn't going to be taking risks. So every day I'm commuting down to Montclair State to deal with that. And every day I say to myself, it's going to be worth it one day. I'm looking around campus. In Montclair State, the phys ed department, the Panzer school, you had to wear these red sweatpants outfits. Dude, it was so bad. It's so bad, and you stuck out. Like, you walk around campus, you can't be cool because you have this stupid sweatsuit on. And people knew exactly, for that people. So that wasn't cool at like 25. But it is what it is. But I remember seeing this cute girl one time, and she was in one of those outfits. Oh my God, she's we make eye contact a couple times, and eventually. Like you see up here, we had this dance thing. Like, why is there people dancing? Because it's there to remind me. You have to take a dance class, get your phys ed degree. So I'm in the dance class. I'm hanging out. It's the first day. And who comes walking in? Yeah, the cute girl. And it was just a matter of time because the way the instructor set it up is that you'd learn to dance and you'd just be rotating around with people and stuff. So like it wasn't the samba, it wasn't the salsa, but come the tango. Yeah. You know what they say about the tango, Fox?
Takes two.
Takes two, baby. Let's go. Right. So we're dancing. We're learning this tango like that. I'm doing small talk. And we would hang out for a while after class. And then it became like talking at night. And then it became talking every day. And unfortunately, she had seen someone from home. And she lived in Tom's River. And I remember when the semester ended, she was going to go out that night at a bar down there. I think it was the office in Tom's River. And hang out with a friend. And I was like, all right. I made this, back in the day, you can make mixtapes off the cassettes. You remember cassettes? So you would put in a CD and you record it. See, I was really good at it. I knew exactly when to cut, what songs to put in, so it would cut off at the right time. But I recorded a song for her, and it was the first song on this tape. And my parents had this karaoke machine thing back in the day that played tapes. So I figured out, listen, I think I could put a blank one in here, record my voice and stuff on this thing, and it worked. So it was pretty funny. So, the old previous Cal, would never try to take a chance. But I was willing to risk sticking my neck out and fighting for this relationship, because just deep down inside, I knew that we were good for each other. And I wanted her to know how I felt. So I drive down there, we hang out, and when I was leaving, gave her a nice hug, a kiss on the cheek, nothing crazy, because you don't want to be that creeper guy. And I slipped her this tape, and I felt good leaving, because either way, I knew I did everything that I could to try to make this thing right. And if it wasn't, then I knew at the end of the day, at least I tried. I was willing to take a risk to fight, And also I knew on the ride home that eventually she was going to put this tape in. She was going to press play, expecting to hear like some, regular song. And she heard this. This is called Give Me a Reason. I know you see him, switch your tail apart. I know you're with him, and you're having fun. Please don't tell me, I don't wanna know. I'm only human, I can tell the show. I know you feel me when he's lying here. I know you see me when your eyes are clear. Will you leave him? Or are you just too scared? But all you're thinking when you sit and stare. Give me a reason, and I won't away. Give me a reason why I shouldn't stay. Got me believing when you feel this way. Just give me a reason why I shouldn't stay. Can't you see me when you know it's right? Can't you please me, hanging out all night? You just tease me, calling out the night. You just tease me, 'cause I'm alone tonight. Give me a reason, and I won't wait. Give me a reason why I shouldn't stay. You got to believe it when you feel afraid. Just give me a reason why I shouldn't stay. Unfortunately, she did end up giving me a reason. It wasn't good. She didn't want to deal with long distance relationships. But you know what? Here's the funny part. See, that's like my favorite song. So like something good came out of that negative. I don't know, I liked writing that song. I liked everything that it stood for, not taking risks and laying it out there. And even to this day, I just feel like it's a good tune. It stood the test of time, sends a good message. And I was all right, you know, we graduated, look, things were going well for me. All right, and like I told you, I was on that mission, I graduated. Hey, I graduated with a 3.5 GPA, yet when I was in elementary school, I was labeled average. And I believed it. And I accepted B's my whole life, up to that point. But I guess I'm average. These are good. Occasional C, who cares? You know, and it bothers me. It bothers me to this day because I know I could have been a better student back in the day. Also, the district was looking for a head swim coach at the time, and while I was finishing up my classes at Montclair State, I was actually hired as a swim coach. We used to practice at Morristown Baird 9 to 10 at night was our pool time. And so I would take my classes during the day and then I'd be able to coach that night. So I started coaching there in 1997, fall, when I was hired full-time traveling position. So I taught at both schools my first year in the fall of 1998. And everything was like, you know, falling into place. Some would say, oh, you're lucky this person left. I guess there is some luck to that, but you know, there was work put into that. There was work being in the right place at the right time. It was doing all those other things too along the way that helped get to my ultimate goal. You know, I was teaching, you know, I was coaching. It was everything that I wanted in life. Except there was that one thing that was still missing, was a meaningful relationship. You know. And sometimes one of the things I really learned about my travels to get to where I was I think so many times, especially with you guys, you're always just looking straight down on something like this phone, right? And then you're just immersed in that phone. And you're not enjoying the environment around you. What I call living in the moment. Right? There could be like the best sunset going on. And I'm like, dude, that's an awesome sunset. And then like my kids are looking at their phone. Right? I mean, you can miss out on so many things in life because you're sitting there looking at your phone. That person that could be your future boyfriend or girlfriend walking by, you didn't even notice it. That friend that you can make, right? Walked right by, you didn't even notice it. So one of the things I learned is just, it's not always about the front door, people, right? Life's about the side doors or going around the back door. Instant. Oh, I wanna say want somebody in my life. 'Cause this life is so confusing. You don't know what's wrong or right. Even now I'm walking alone. Even now on the telephone in the night when I'm far from home. Even now I won't skip my phone. I can feel it breaking me down some more. I can feel it sneaking around that door. 'Cause this life that I'm leading, making me beg for more. Is it right for believing you more alone. Even now on the telephone now, when I'm far from home. Even now I strip my phone. I can't feel it when it feels alone. I can't feel it slipping around my soul. A couple things to remember along this journey, that some life lessons that really helped me figure a lot of things out in life. I want to make sure we went over this stuff. And I really believe this when I say that we all have a journey and a purpose in life. And it's really up to you to figure it out. That's part of the whole gig, is finding out who you are, finding out where you're going to fit in this world, you know, and it might take a while. I'm proof of that. I'm definitely proof of that. I'm proof for you right now. If you don't know what you want to do with your life, that's all right. That was me, right? I was there. That was you. But I'm going to tell you now, you just got to keep your eyes open. Find something that you're passionate about. Start thinking about things that you enjoy, right? Find things that you're passionate about and run with it. The other big thing was that, you know, and it still happens, you're going to face obstacles in life. Some worse than others. Some that can devastate you. Right? But how you handle those situations is going to define you as a person. You're either going to let it break you, right? Or you're going to be able to rise above. And that's something you always got to think about. Look, I fail. I failed at a lot of things. You can't be afraid of that. It's one of the best ways to learn in life. Take those risks. It's the worst thing that can happen. Girl tells you she don't want a long distance relationship. All right. They didn't break me. You know, I told you something positive came out of it. One of the best songs I ever wrote. I was all right with it. There's a big one, people. So often I think some of you just do this too quick. You give up on yourselves. Right. The day you give up on yourself is the day that nothing good is ever going to happen to you. Because if you're not there fighting for yourself, who's going to be fighting for you? Right? No one. Hey, we all soul searching to do. That was a lot of soul searching I did. And here's the deal in life, guys. You know, things are bad, but things always get better. Sometimes it just takes longer. Sometimes it takes a long time. Driving down all highway, didn't know where I was going. Now home, living for today. Don't feel about hurting. Think about
You have been listening to the What's Your Inspiration podcast with Fox Beyer. Because impact on each other is the greatest currency you could ever have.